It's done on normal paper, 70 grams per square metre. So as you can see, it's really flimsy in that. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm John and I paint using spray paint. So for this video I'm going to be painting on different types of paper. So I'm going to be painting on like normal paper, which is 70 grams per square metre. So it's pretty thin, this is. I'm going to be painting on this glossy card, which is 280 grams per square metre. This is the card I normally paint on, the glossy card. So as you can see, it's got a bit of glossiness to it. I'm also going to be painting on this 320 grams per square metre. This is glossy card. It's got like a gel coating or something on it. Not as glossy as 280, but it still works. And then I thought I'd just do one on the canvas lastly, just to show you the difference between paper and a canvas. So they're all the different types of paper, and as you can see, the 70 gram is really thin. So what I'll first do is I'm going to paint on the paper first. I'll just hit these three out of the way for now. So what I'm going to be doing on here, I'm just going to be painting a simple planet or something on here. Just nice easy painting, just to show you how each of the papers work when you spray paint on them and what the difference is between them. So like I said, first of all, the first one's going to be the paper one. So I'll get my planet stencil first. I think for this one I'll do some reds, orange, a bit of yellow, and then black and white. So this one I'm going to be using royal red, shock red, orange Gina, brimstone, a white and a black. First of all, I'm going to just spray around the lid stencil. So like I said, this paper will soak the paint in. Get some dark red first and spray it at the bottom, and then some shock red, spray in random places, bit of orange, and a bit of yellow. Like I said, if you get any questions, feel free to ask. Now I'm going to put some black. A bit of white over it. So for this one, I'm going to be using like a plastic grocery bag or something to make a texture on this planet. So all you do is just give it a bit of a crunch up, crease up, get some lines in it so you can make some texture on your planet. All I do is place it over the top to make some texture. Just give it a light rub. So as you can see, because the paper's thin, it's folding up on itself. And it's almost dry, this is. See there, it's dry. The paper's creased a bit now with the paint on it because it's soaked into the paper. So now we've got the texture on the planet. We're just going to put some highlights and shadows on it. I quite like that texture, I quite like how that's turned out. So first of all, we'll do the highlight. We'll just get a bit of white and I'm just going to spray a bit of highlight here. And then we'll do a shadow on the dark side. I'm going to have some background noise now, I think. So now we've got the highlights and shadows on the planet. We'll put the lid stencil back on, but ideally you want this to be dry before placing a lid stencil on. Because if you place your lid stencil on when the paint's wet, you'll leave like a ring on your planet. But for this video, I'm just going to go ahead and place the lid stencil on. So if it does leave a ring on the planet, you can see what I'm on about. So place it on the lid, make sure you cover a bit of a shadowed area in the highlighted area. So place it there. And then now I'm going to spray all the background black. With the black, just spray around. Just go a bit light around your lid stencil so you get no leaking underneath your lid. If you notice that the paint doesn't come out that fast with the caps I'm using, that's because I'm using skinny caps. And this is a cap I use for everything in the painting. I don't swap the caps or nothing, I just leave this cap on. So it takes longer to fill like the background in and stuff like that. But using a skinny cap and with it releasing less paint out, you don't use as much paint out of the can as though if you had a fat cap or a wider spraying cap on that lets more paint out, you'd waste a lot more paint. Because you just want to cover the background black, you don't want to flood it with black, so there's a lot of colour on there. So now we've got this on the paper, the background black. I'm just going to add a few of the colours in, the reds and that. So I think I might just put a bit of colour here at the bottom and then a bit of colour up here at summit. So just go with a bit of royal red first, bit of shock red, bit of orange and a bit of brimstone. I might just put a bit of white there. Now I'm just going to put a bit of red or something here this side, not much. Just add a bit of colour to it. Cap's spitting a bit there, but that's alright, just looks like there's some yellow stars or something. I think that'll do for the background, so we'll get the white and we'll just flick some stars on with the fingers. So we'll spray the white on the fingers, so we get something like that. Then you want to flick it away a few times from the painting, and then just flick the rest onto the painting. So then you don't get big white blobs all on your painting that don't look like stars. So that'll do for the stars. Now we've got all the background done. Take the lid stencil off. This might be a bit stuck because I put it down when it was wet and because the paper's thin. So the last thing to do is sign it, but this is dry now, the background, because the paint soaked into the normal paper. So all I'm going to do is just use this paint pen here to sign it. So that's paint finished. Right, so I'll just pick one up. So like I said, this was done on normal paper, 70 grams per square metre. So as you can see, it's really flimsy in that. But you can, if you take your time, you can still get some good paintings out of it. I really like how this one's turned out. I'm not sure whether you can see it if I turn it a bit. But as you can see, look how thin the paper is when you try and lift it up. I'm not sure because of the light and that. So I really like how this one's turned out on paper, but the trouble is with it, I'm not sure whether it hasn't soaked through, it's just soaked into the paper. So I'm going to move this and sit this one to one side for now. I'm really happy with the way this turned out, but before I just move, I'm not sure if you can see, when I said to you about putting the lid stencils on with the paint wet, can you see there at the bottom on this black where it's marked it? The only reason why it's done that is because you put the lid stencil on wet. If this had been completely dry and I placed the lid stencil on, this wouldn't happen here. See, because it's paper, it just blows away easily. So I'm just going to have to sit this one to one side for now, out the way. So the next piece of paper I'm going to be using is a 280 grams per square metre. This is a bit thicker and it's glossy, so this won't soak the paint up. So this is double-sided glossy paper. So you've got glossy paper, glossy both sides. So like I said, I'm just going to be doing a single planet on each of these. So I'll put that there. So what colours do you want to see on these planets next? Any suggestions before I start? Just push them ones out of the way, leave the black and white there. So you want blues for this one. So just get some blues then. See what blues I've got here. I haven't got many. Yeah, that'll do, I'll go like that. So I'm going to do a blue one for this one. So for this I'm going to be using dark blue, which is Blue Note. All these are Montana Gold paints. The Blue Notes are dark blue. I'm going to be using sky blue. I'm going to be using Bermuda and Himalaya. And I'm also going to be using black and white. So same process as before with the first one I did. So lid down, spray round it to give you an outline, lid back off, and then we'll fill the outline in with some colours. So first of all, Blue Note, the dark blue. Put a bit there like that. Bit of sky blue, bit of Bermuda over it, and a bit of Himalaya. Just spray a bit over there like that. Now I'm going to go, I'll just put a bit of dark blue there, that'll do. Bit of black, and some white. Not much white. And then for this one, I'm going to use some magazine paper. So this is just normal magazine paper out of the magazine. But this hasn't got much of a gloss on it. This is more just a slight gloss on it. It would be better if you had real glossy paper, magazine paper, but I'll use it. This will tend to stick if the paint's too dry, so we'll just screw it up and we'll place it on. I'm going to have to do this twice thing. See, it's already dry, so it's starting to stick. As you can see, it's the trouble sometimes using the magazine paper, it can stick. So what you can do if you've got this and it is sticking, the magazine paper, I'm going to have to get a new piece as well, is you can use something like clear coat to wet this paint back up. So we just spray the clear coat on the painting, and then punch this up again, and we'll place it on, and hopefully this will be a bit wetter. Still wet, but because most of it's dry now, it won't produce texture. And as you can see there, a bit of a paper's come off. So sometimes, depending on magazine paper you get, this will happen. I'll put a bit more clear coat on, so I can wet it up a bit. I'm just going to get another piece of magazine paper, crunch it up a bit. I'm just going to press it on in places. So depending on what magazine paper you use and how fast you are when you put it down, if the paint's slightly drying out, you won't get a decent texture on it, or you'll get the magazine paper sticking like that. So what happens if you get that stuck there like that, you can get some clear coat and it should come off with a clear coat. It'll make it go loose, and then as you can see, you can pull the paper off if it sticks. So I'm going to leave that like that because I don't want to keep pressing it down, because you lose all the texture, all the different colours will start mixing with each other. So I'm just going to leave that like that. So now we'll go to some highlights and shadows. So use some Himalaya first up here and some white for the highlighted area. And down here I'm just going to put some black. Like I said in the previous one, you really want these to dry first before placing the lid stencils on, else you'll leave a ring on the planet, especially here on the dark side, on the shadowed area, because the paint's wet there now after spraying some black. Right, I think that's give it a bit to dry. It's still wet, as you can see. Put my finger there, the paint's still wet there, but I'm just going to go ahead and place the lid stencil on. I think it will leave a ring on this planet, but never mind. It's just like a demonstration of different papers. So we'll get the lid stencil, place it over the paint where you want your planet to go. I'm going to have mine there. So now, same as before, do the background black. You could mix it up and add some colours as you're spraying the black, so you could get the dark blue and the black together. I'll just spray around this lid stencil. Just make sure you spray a bit lighter when you spray around this lid stencil, so you get no leaking underneath your lid stencil. So what you can do now, you can get the black and the blue and just spray it together to get a bit of blue and black together. So that's the background done. So I think for this one I'll just put a bit of blues in the background. A bit of blue there, I think. Nothing too fancy for this one. I'll just put a bit of blue around this planet, I think, at the top. Not much. When you're doing that, you want to really spray towards the lid stencil there, so you don't get like a black ring around your planet when you take the lid stencil off. So when you're spraying it, you want to spray towards the lid stencil. So we'll put a bit of blue there. Bit of Bermuda next. Bit of Himalaya. What you could just do is get a bit of dark blue. So then that's it, you're spraying towards the lid stencil, so hopefully you won't get a black ring when you take your lid stencil off. You might, I don't know. We'll have to see when I take the lid stencil off. So I'm just going to get a black thing. I'm just going to black a bit out here. You can always go back and do things. So I think that'll do. So we'll add some stars, same as the other one. Spray some onto your fingers here and just flick them onto the sheet. But make sure when you spray some onto your fingers, the white paint, flick it away from the painting a couple of times so you don't get any big white blobs on your painting that don't look like stars. So I'll do first stars for that one. And now we'll take the lid stencil off. See, this paint's almost dry. I'm spraying like on the just inside the garage, so there's a bit of wind today and it's pretty warm, so it's drying the paint pretty fast. So let's lift the lid stencil off. Just take your time and you lift these off. So as you can see, I quite like how that's turned out, considering that the magazine paper stuck a bit and it weren't making very good texture. But as you can see, you've got this ring round the planet. That's the only reason why that is because the paint was wet. If you leave it to dry, you won't get any of these rings or anything. And as you can see, I didn't quite get close enough to the lid stencil, so you got like a bit of a black ring on this side. But I still like how that's turned out. Like the texture and that. So because this is almost dry, I'm going to go back to the paint pen and I'm going to sign it. So that one's finished. So I'm going to sit this one to one side now and move on to the next type of paper. So I'll put that to one side. I'm not sure whether you can see it like that because of the light in the garage. But what I'll do is, after I've done them all, I'll bring them back so you can see each one. I'm going to be going onto this, which is 320 grams per square metre. This is a lot thicker than the last one I used, as you can see. It's a lot thicker. And this is gel coated. It's a bit different to glossy coated. It's gel, it's like got a gel film over the card. This is the paper I first started painting on once I found some. So it works alright, just a bit too thick. If you were going to sell it or something, and you were shipping them and you were rolling them up, this doesn't roll back. This stops curved like this. And it's pretty hard to roll up anyway, so that's why I found a bit of thinner paper. It's easy to roll up or anything when I decide to start selling some of my art. So, like I said, this is one-sided gel coated card and it's 320 grams per square metre. So I'm painting on this side, the gel coated side. I'm not sure whether you can see it. So, what colours do you want to see on this one? Beige and yellow. I've got a sand colour here. I've got a beige over there. I can use this. Just bear with me. Bear with me. I'll go and get some colours. Some different colours, yeah? Right, I found some yellows. And a beigey sandy colour. I'm not sure whether... We'll give it a go. So I've got some yellows now. So what I'm going to use for this one, because the only beigey colours I've really got, is I'm going to use sand. I'm going to use Tara yellow. I've got some shock yellow, citrus. I think that'll do. That'll do. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, the colour wise, but we'll give it a go. Right, so we'll get the lid stencil, place it where you want your lid to go. And I'll use Sahara yellow for this. And then we'll fill the outline in with some colours. So we'll use sand first. A bit of sand down the bottom. Not sure if it's beige colour, but we'll give it a go. So a few bit of sand there. I think I'll go dark yellow now. Whoa, that cap's not very good. Throw that away because it isn't working very good. Let me pinch the cap off one of these. This will do. Too clogged that was, that cap, just spitting too much. So after a while they do clog and spit like that, let too much paint out. So I'll just get a new cap on it. I'll use one that's on the can already. So I'm just going to put a bit more sand there. It'll be a bit dry now. A bit of yellow. Put a bit of yellow on there like that. And then Sahara yellow over here, I think. What I might do for this is I'll get the black on the shadowed area. And I'll do Sahara beige, Sahara yellow over that like that instead of a white. So for this one, I'm going to use plastic sheet. This is from the bag that I've cut up, just so it's easy to use. So we'll crunch it up so we get some texture in it like that. Then what we'll do is place it on the paint, give it a light rub, and see how this turns out. Quite like how that's turned out, quite like that texture, quite like the colours in it. So now we're going to put some highlights and shadows on it. So I'm just going to use a white, I'm just going to put a light highlight here. And then black down here, just light. I think that'll do. Yeah, that'll do for that one, the highlight and shadows. So I'm just going to leave this to dry for a minute, because the rings, you'll have a ring here because it's wet. You could use a heat gun or something like that to dry it faster. So we'll get back to this painting. Hopefully this will be dry now. Yeah, as you can see, I can touch that and it's dry. So we'll get the lid stencil, place it on the sheet. Remember, put a bit of a shadowed area and the highlighted area under the lid stencil. So that's on like that. So we'll get the black. And a spider or something there. Don't want to spray that. Go on. Right. So we'll get spraying this. All black. Remember, lightly round your lid stencils. So as you can see, like using the skinny cap, it doesn't let too much paint out. So it also saves on paint when you're doing things. Doesn't let too much out. As long as the background's black. So that's all black now. So I'm not sure what I can do in the background. Let me just, I'll just put some like the other ones. I'll just put a bit of sand first. Might do similar to that first one I did. Bit of sand there. Bit of yellow. That's darker yellow, bit of dark yellow, bit of light yellow, bit of beige yellow, and then a bit of white. And I think I'll just get some yellows here, bit of yellow there. I'll put a bit of this sand up here, just break it up a bit. Bit of spitting on the caps. Another tip is, if you get some spitting off your caps like that, you can get your craft knife as well, and then we'll just scrape the nozzle off. Just take your time, scrape your nozzle to get the paint off, and then hopefully that'll stop it spitting. So where's the light yellow? I think that'll do for the background on that one. So I'll spray some white on the fingers again like that. Flick a bit of it away from the painting first before you flick it onto the sheet so you don't get big white blobs on it. So we just flick your fingers like that to produce the stars. So now we've got the background in. I quite like them background colours. We're going to lift the lid stencil off. Ideally you could have something here in the middle where you could just pull the lid on and off, which makes it easier. But I'm used to lifting them off like that, so that's why I put nothing on there. What you can do is you can just hold the corner with a palette knife like that to stop it lifting up. And you can just, but because it's not wet, you don't need to, just lift that off. And then you get your planet like that. So sit that to one side. So when you get like that, quite like the texture, quite like how that's turned out. And as you can see, you've got the black line around the planet there. That's because you haven't gone right next to the lid stencil. If you go right to the lid stencil there, you'll eliminate this black line. So that's that one done. So what we'll do now is I'm just going to sign it. So I'm going to go to a paint pen now again and just sign it. So this is still a bit wet, the background. So that's that one done. So that's on the gel coated card, which works well as well for spray paint art. Still quite happy with that one. I'll stick this out of the way. They're the three pieces of paper that I'm showing you. So it's the normal paper, the glossy paper I paint on, and the gel coated card. So I thought I'd just do one on the canvas while I'm filming. So this is a 380 gram canvas in the pack. And all I do with these is I'll just take them out of the wrapper and I'll just paint straight on them. So that's straight out of the wrapper. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this, I think. No, I'm not, because I said I was going to use a crackle paint on this to show you crackle effect spray paint. So that's the canvas. I'm going to paint a crackle because someone has to have a crackle. So the stuff we use to crackle paint is this. It's crackle effect spray paint. I'm not sure whether you can see it because of the light. So it's that. And for this one, not sure what to paint this. I'm going to do a purpley pink one, I think. Yeah, purple and pink, I think, for this one. So I'm going to have to get the heat gun for this. So I'm going to have to dry paint out pretty fast. So put the heat gun there. Right, so like I said, this is on the canvas just to show you. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a crackle paint. So I'm going to use some pinks and purples. So let me see. I'm going to use Sweet Dream, Cherry Blossom, Shock Pink Light, and don't know what this one is. The names come off it, can't remember. Oh well, never mind, it's like a light purple. So right, first of all we'll get the lid stencil. Doesn't need to be clean because it didn't stick to the last one. So we'll place it on the lid, on the canvas, and we'll get the light pink, spray round it. The thing with the canvas is it'll soak a bit of a paint up at first when you spray it down. So just spray a bit of extra on there. So what I'm going to do is, with no texture for this, I'm just going to do the colours. That cap's not very good. That's better. Right, some Cherry Blossom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from dark to light. Go pink. And the lighter purple. So that's the colours on there now, the base colours. So like I said, I'm going to be doing no texture on this. So what we'll do is get the black crackle paint now. Just pull some of this paint through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray it on it. So we've got the crackle effect paint going on here. What I'll do to speed the process up, I'm not sure how it's going to work on the canvas, but we'll give it a go. So we'll use the heat gun to speed the process up. And as you can see, it's starting to crack as we warm the paint up. This is just a fast way of doing it. So as you can see, the cracks are coming through on this planet with different colours. Could have blended them in a bit better, but I just wanted to show you this. So that's dry enough now. So as you can see, it gives a real nice effect on the planet, nice crackle effect there. Now for this, now we've got the crackle effect, I'm just going to put a bit of black and a bit of highlight on it. Not much. I'm going to use a light purple, I think, just a bit there. Not much. And a bit of white. And then some black on the shadowed area. I'm not going to put much on here because I might lose the purple crack. Like that. Now I've got the heat gun here. Just dry this black paint a bit. If I blended these in a bit better, you wouldn't get the straight lines. But like I said, just for the video to show you the crackle paint. So that's the black dried. So we'll get the lid stencil. We'll place it back on painting. So I'll put that on there like that. So like I said, if you're just joining, I'll be posting this on my YouTube channel. So we've got the lid stencil on now there. And what I'm going to do is do it all black. But what you could have done when you're using this crackle effect paint is you could use a different stencil, because sometimes you might show the cracks through. But because I didn't use much crackle or much paint, it hasn't, which is good. So just spray around this lid stencil and around the background. And if you notice, when you're spraying on this canvas here, the first bit you spray on, the black paint is soaking into the canvas. But like I said on the previous video that I posted last night, and I was painting on the canvas, you'll use more paint if you were going to paint it all, say, white first to seal it, than you would by just spraying it on a normal colour like this. So like I said, when I took it out of a wrapper, I just spray it straight away. No need to do anything to them. They'll work fine like that. So we've got all the black down. As you can see in places where it's soaked into the canvas, you can see on the light here where there's a bit more black paint there, but it's all black. It's just the way the light's hitting it. So we'll go back to these colours. So let's get the colours I was using over here. So for this, we'll get some Sweet Dream first. Just going to put a bit of Space Mist gas, something like that, in it. Right, bit there. Bit of Cherry Blossom. Bit of light pink. Just do it like this, I think. Just on the edges. Nothing too much. Don't really want much on this. I'll just put a bit of Sweet Dream around there. Quite like this purple, this Sweet Dream. Quite nice. And then, where's this? I'll do this as well. Do the lighter purple. So a bit too much lighter purple there. It's covered most of that Sweet Dream up, but that's alright. Still like it. So now we'll add some stars. So remember, spray some on your finger like that and then just flick it off. And then so we'll get them like that. Just put a few more on there like that. So I like that, I like them stars on there. Right, so got that, all the background colours, I'm liking that. So the light's coming in a bit so you can't really see it. Let me move them cans out of the way. Let's see if that's any better. That's a bit better. So take the lid stencil off and now we'll reveal the planet. Right, so we'll get the lid stencil, lift it off. It was still a bit wet there, which is a bit of a shame because I quite like how that's turned out. But what I'll do here is I'll just show you why I've got it. You can always, you'll muck a bit of a background up, but you could fix that. You could get the black here, and you could just spray it out a bit. And once it dries, it should look all right. You could also get, I don't know, where's that one? That's Sweet Dream. You have a Sweet Dream and you can just put a bit on there. It's just easy fix, you cover it. You just got to be careful, and then might just put a few stars there, just back over it. That'll do like that. So then you cover the mark up. But yeah, you could cover it up with a star coming underneath, but I quite like the texture on there and that, so I'm going to leave that like that. So the last thing I'm going to do is sign it. I'm just going to sign it with this paint pen because I think this is dry. So just sign it here. I think just here, not. That'll do. Could have gone in the corner more, but like these are just practice piece showing you how different things work and that. Let me see if I can get a decent picture thingy of it. I'm not sure because of the light. So like I said, that painting was on a canvas. So when I've used the crackle effect spray paint, which is this, quite a nice effect. It works really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these out of the way. And to finish the video off, I'm going to bring each of the paintings back that I did and just show you each one. Show you the different materials. I'm going to move the camera as well. The first one was done on the 70 grams per square metre paper, which was this one. If you haven't started from the beginning of the video, so that was just done on normal paper. As you can see, it's thin, so you can paint on normal paper, but it does soak the paint up. You just got to take your time and do things, but it is achievable to paint something on paper. This has turned out really well. I quite like that. So that's a paper one. Really nicely done. Really like that. And then the next one was this one. Oh, I did the texture on the paper one with a grocery bag. This one I did it with some magazine paper. So as you can see, this one was done on 280 grams square metre paper, double-sided glossy paper. This is a paper I use all the time to paint on. So as you can see, it worked pretty well, and you get like different texture off the magazine paper. You get the different colours of blues, variants of blues going. So I was on the 280 grams square metre paper, which turned out really well. Glossy paper, that is. Double-sided glossy paper. And then this one was done on 320 grams per square metre. This is a gel coated card, gel coated paper, which also works well for spray paint art. It's just a bit thicker card. It's more of a card than a paper, but it still works well with a gel coat. I like the way that's turned out. I like the colours. Like the colours were suggested by someone watching the live stream, and I think they look alright. Quite like the colours, a mixture of colours on that one. And then the last one is the one I just did. I know it's not paper, but I just wanted to show you what it's like on a canvas compared to a paper. So that was done on the canvas. This was 380 gram canvas. Did nothing to it. Just took it out of a wrapper and sprayed straight onto it. And I used some crackle effect spray paint for this. That turned out pretty well. I like how the variants of colours go through. I could have blended them in a bit more. And as you can see, where it's in between each of the different colours, there's smaller cracks. That's because the paint was a bit more drier, so it's not cracked as much. The wetter the paint, the bigger cracks you'll get. So that was done on canvas, which can also work well for painting, spray paint art. So I don't know whether I can put all these in here in one shot. Yeah, so that's them all the different papers. So it is achievable to paint on different types of paper. Just take your time with it. So that has soaked it in, but it's turned out well. So I'm going to wrap this video up now. So thank you very much for joining in the live stream and the suggestions for the different colours on the planet. It's very much appreciated you joining. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thank you for all the feedback you've left while watching. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you enjoyed the video and liked what I painted. And as you can see, all the different papers that I used work fine, and also the canvas. So once again, thank you very much for stopping by and watching. I hope to see you all in the next spray paint art video. Have a great day, take care, and bye for now.